and share my screen. Just run through some housekeeping real quick here because we have Amy tonight. I'm so excited to hear from you. I actually got to speak on Amy's call last week, which was absolutely amazing. And her and I have connected for a while. We've been emailing back and forth like crazy. Oh my God, you guys, I cannot with the Oompa Loompa-ness. We're gonna turn down that. That's a little bit better. She actually saw my recording when I spoke on Ashley Feldison's call. And she reached out to me and we've just kind of connected ever since. And it's just, you guys, I think the first year of my business, I was very closed off to other Beachbody coaches within the network. I was like, stay in your lane, don't follow other coaches, da da da. And I've come to find you need to find your people outside of our team. Yes, our team community is incredible, but you can make such amazing relationships with so many other people to learn from. I mean, if you look at this weekend at MLC, I'm staying with Megan. And our teams don't even affect one another. So just incredible. Don't be afraid to, message somebody on Instagram if you see that they're a Beachbody coach too and you're vibing with them. Okay. Just some news and updates. Our team retreat is the weekend of April 18th. It's in Nashville. You have to hit Diamond by March 12th. I know that Brittany and Lexi, are pushing very hard. They have made it very clear to me that they will be Diamond. Brittany set her date at the end of February. Lexi set hers for March 12th. And I'm pushing my other business center right now. So I have my Diamond date too. I'm running right alongside with you guys. Like, let's freaking make this happen. If you are running, if you are pushing and you haven't told me that and expressed that, please do, because I'm checking in and we're doing virtual work sessions. I mean, this is like our hustle push like we did at the end of 2019, which landed us Premier. Remember, this isn't a me thing. This is a we thing. And it's time to level up early this year, early in 2020. It is, I skipped one, Success Club trip 2021, and put your name on the list. I say it every week, put your name on the list. You never know when you're going to get your invite. Team Cup is going on. Promo codes should have been emailed to you. There are 3. Hunt through all of your inboxes if you have not seen those yet. I just used all of mine up and they're going to refill however many you use halfway through the month. So incredible. Also, our team, what we're doing is we all have a message thread going and we are sending each other like what our invites look like for the day. We're checking in on Success Club points. We're motivating each other. Definitely like get that like friendly competition going and win some cool swag. Like that's why we do Team Cup. It's fun. Next week on Tuesday, the Run Wild Hustle Shine call. If you missed that call last night, next week is going to be just a virtual work sesh because they are all, fingers crossed, hopefully going to hop on our team call on Wednesday so that I can give the whole team an NLC recap. So that should be a much bigger team call on Wednesday. Success Club, I'm at 6. Sam W. Guys, we're like getting like some duplicate names now. And I'm like, I got to start putting last initials on here. So Sam W is at 4. Sam O is at 2. And Brittany H is at 2. And why I put some stars by their name, if you missed the shout out today, in the team pages, they are brand new baby coaches and they just signed their first clients and I could not be more proud of them. They're just really taking it and running and hustling. I've kind of given you guys some updates on how I'm changing my onboarding system for new coaches and clearly some things are working. So if you are curious about what I'm doing, reach out, go back, listen to some other team calls. Without further ado, I get to introduce Amy. She is a lifetime 2-star. She's pregnant with her first little babe. So cute. Like, go look at her Instagram. She's like mom goals, serious mom goals. She's also a dog mom, which so many of us are. 2020 Premier Coach. Holla, a retired nurse to be a full-time coach. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I'm going to shut up and pass it over to you.
Okay, I'm unmuted. You hear me? Yay! Thanks, Janine. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, hold on. So I have an office, just a little side note, but it's an open office, so I have to do like all my team calls in our bedroom. So I'm coming to you live um, from my bed, which is actually, a perk of the job. But I'm so excited for tonight. So, like Janine said, you have to get out of your comfort zone. Like, can I just pass that on to you, like right now? One of the things that I started doing when I started hosting team calls, and I was a diamond coach. Just one of those things. I'm like, I'm a diamond coach now. I need to be like running my own team calls. Um, I just like started. It just started one day. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out and I'm going to ask these people that I look up to on Instagram to guest speak on my team calls. And you guys, it's just like the best thing that you could ever possibly do. It will open up so many connections for you. It will open up so many doors for friendships to be made. Perfect example, one of the girls I met at NLC last year, we have remained, tight and friends all year long. We're currently success partners. Like she just spoke in my Diamond Push group today. And I just can't emphasize enough how much important it is to expand your network. Your team is wonderful. That's your family, but also like there's so many other amazing relationships to be made. Okay. So, and it will just be so much more fun. Like when you go to like live events and like summit and all these things and you see people, it's just like, like getting together with the family get togethers and stuff like that. All right. So I'm going to shut up now. I am going to be giving you guys a little bit of tough love. Um, I hate to say it, I'm an Enneagram too, but I also am very tough. Oops, don't want you to look at that yet. So I will, and I'm a hand holder. I wanna help you. I wanna do it for you, kind of thing. But at the same time, I know that that's not what got me here. I A little bit of background about me. So my upline, I started coaching 3 months in. So I signed up initially as a beach discount coach back in March of 2017. But it took me about 3 months of watching before I finally decided that I needed to do this. I was working full time as a nurse. I knew that we were going to be getting imminently engaged. We were starting our life, and I felt this like huge pull towards the Beachbody community. I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted whatever happy juice that everyone was drinking. I wanted some of it. But I also really, truly craved, and this is something, each and every one of you has something that's pulled you here. Deep down inside me that really truly wanted, I've always craved financial freedom. I've always craved just freedom in general. Always wanted to be a mom, but I never, sounds awful to say out loud, but like I've never just wanted to be just a mom. That's one of my big fears, is that I don't want to lose my identity and I don't want to lose my independence, no matter what I'm doing. And so, coaching's really helped me overcome a lot of self-limiting beliefs. And that continues to happen to this day. And I know it's going to continue to do that for me, in the next seasons to come. So anyway, I'm going to be talking to you guys tonight about getting through these hards. All right. Getting through these hards in your business, because whether you are a brand new coach, or maybe you are in that mid season of you just hit diamond, or maybe you're pushing for diamond and you're really trying to step into that leadership role. You're really trying to take that next level, or maybe you are beyond that level, right? It doesn't matter where you are, really. We all go through very similar hards, and we all go through our own hards, right? That's life. But that also is something that I feel like we so often relate that to normal life, but for some reason, when we get into coaching, we shut that, we put that wall up, and we stop understanding that happens here as well. Okay. So we really truly just have to understand this concept that we are the ones standing in the way of our own potential. Okay. Because over these last 2.5 years, I have been a coach. Every single time that I have felt resistance in my business, or I have felt, I've had these periods of doubt, or I've had these periods of feeling like, can I really do this? Who am I? Imposter syndrome, all of that. You guys, it was me in my own way, right? It was me. I was the one holding myself back. I had, was the one that, was reaching my personal ceiling, right? If anyone listens to Ed Milet, he talks about this, about, we have these ceilings that we create for ourselves where we cap ourselves for what our potential is, right? That's just ego. That's our self-limiting belief, okay? So we truly have to understand coming into this, 4 Behaviors 101, our mindset is everything. And it's something that we have to focus on, and we have to be mindful of it daily, right? Daily, monthly, all that jazz, yearly. Like, it is a never ending process. We are constantly growing. Okay. And with that process, the key thing that I think most of us forget and most people don't do is that reflection piece. Okay. It's one thing to, listen to personal development or professional development and like say, like, like you need to do better at this, or you need to step up here. Like, maybe you need to talk about coaching more, or maybe you really need to work on your mentorship, or, really stepping into your own independence as a leader. But are you coming back to yourself? Are you reflecting on that? Like in 2, 3, 4 weeks, like, are you coming, looking back at the month behind you, and are you seeing, have you made improvements? Have you not? Are you feeling, are things working better? Like, we have to be willing to gut check ourselves, okay? Because I really think that that is what ends up getting us feeling stuck, okay? Getting us into those seasons where we feel like maybe this isn't for us, okay? When really it is. It's just that maybe we're not quite willing to look in the mirror, right? So, truth bomb. I'm all about the truth bombs tonight. This is going to be just truth bomb one after the other. You guys, you've probably already heard this, but what got you here won't get you there. So what got you to Emerald is not going to get you to Diamond. What got you to Diamond is not going to necessarily get you to like 2-star or 5-star. Okay. You're going to have to step it up. All right. You're going to have to keep stepping into those uncomfortable zones. Janine's going to NLC tomorrow. Do you know how scared shitless I was to go to NLC last year? I didn't know a soul. It was like, oh my God, I'm going to NLC, but oh my God, I'm going to NLC. Like, it was like such a mix of emotions, and it's like literally, truly fake it till you make it. Okay. You have to be willing to step into these unknown zones, these scary next level, I can't find the words. You have to be willing to do it, okay? You have to be willing to reflect on where you are going, but also where you've come from, and like, what do you need to do now to get to the next level, okay? What's working and what's not. So if you are, feeling like I always tell my coaches, like, that feeling of hard, that feeling of resistance is not a sign for you to run in the opposite direction. It's not a sign to take your foot off the gas. It's a sign that you need to step into that. That is your sign from the universe. Consider it, thank you, universe. Like, that is your sign that you need to lean into this area, because it's causing you angst. It's causing you stress. That means it's because it's causing you stress, because you know that it's a place in which you need to improve. Okay. It's where you need to step up. Okay. So, like, the number one thing that I think, peeves me, as just in my own journey, and like now in a mentorship role, like trying to teach to my own coaches and pass this on, is that you cannot wait. Like, sit back and wait. You cannot wait for anyone to answer your prayers, to come and fix your business, to give you some magic answer. Like, I'm probably not sharing anything new to you tonight, right? Like, you probably heard all of these things. You have incredible resources. Like, you guys, like you said, your message pods, we do the same thing, sharing, invites and all that stuff. Guys, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to go figure out what is causing your business stress. Like, you have to go find the answers that you need to step into your potential. Okay. And that's, not necessarily something that you can just wait for, Janine to send you or create the team training or have that guest speaker that's going to give you the answer. Like, I found Janine because of me being on YouTube and learning from the other top leaders of the company that I look up to and absorbing, like basically trying to model after who they, what they do. That I found her months ago because of doing that, right? So you have to be willing to go out and be resourceful. You have to be the creator of your own destiny in this business. Okay, good or bad, you're going to fail your way forward, but you have to be willing to go out and try and take action. All right. So where are you struggling? Like, you have, this is just a question that we constantly have to be willing to, be asking ourselves is like, okay, well, it's February 5th. I'm not where I want to be so far in the month. What can I do instead of like wallowing in self-pity, going and watching Netflix, or like just kind of giving putting our hands up in the air? What can we do that will be proactive, that kind of is stepping a little bit, outside of our comfort zone that can still help us move forward? Okay. So perfect example of this is like, all right, you feel like you're running out of people to invite on Instagram. You feel like, it's Team Cup month. It's like go balls to the wall. You're inviting everybody. And so you might be feeling like, oh my God, I'm running out of people. Everyone's saying no. I'm feeling that. A lot of my people are feeling that. Well, have you forgot about your Facebook? Like, have you forgot about all those people that you invited when you first became a coach and they said no to you? So then you kind of just like put them out of your memory and you forget that they exist because they're from that period of your life when you first started coaching that you reached out to people and they all said no. Go back to those people. Like, that's a perfect example of like stepping outside the box. Like, you don't know what kind of seeds you're watering or you're planting, right? That could be a rekindling of new conversations, and maybe they don't say yes this month. Maybe they aren't interested or whatever, but it's a seed planted that might be what helps you in March, right? Securing your diamond come March, like that might be where your people come from. You just never know, right? You are needing people, like, you're feeling like you're not getting enough working coaches. Well, okay, have you run a sneak peek? Did your sneak peek last month really work? Like, if it didn't, and so-and-so said that this has been working for them, see if you can, plan a sneak peek for in the next week or two, like, and be inviting to that and like take action on that. Like, you know what I mean? There's always something that we can do, you guys. So wherever you're feeling stressed out or you're feeling like, again, like you're feeling like you're not getting anywhere, lean into it and just, and this is like, no stupid, like, these aren't stupid questions. These are the questions that your coach and your upline and your teammates would love to hear from you, are brainstorming questions. Like, what are you guys doing for this? Or what, I'm thinking about this, or like, what can I do with this? Like, because then that shows that you're being proactive. That shows that you're taking responsibility for your goals. It shows that you care about your goals. Okay. Those are things that it's great to team up and brainstorm together in periods like this, but also don't wait on people to give you an answer. Just, make a decision and go for it. Yeah, I just said this, but there really is. It's like, success, it does not mean like, just because it feels like it's not happening on your timeline, or just because it feels hard right now, does not mean that you aren't meant to be here. Too many people, in my, in the grand scheme of things, I've been a coach for 2.5 years. Which I guess isn't truly very long. I feel like I'm just getting into the meat of my business. I feel like I'm just like kind of reaching, running towards my potential. But so often I think about, what if I quit? Like, what if, oh my God, that, those few months back in 18 at the very end of the year, right before I went per diem with nursing and I went full-time coaching, were some of the most stressful months of my life. I had imposter syndrome out the yin yang. I remember thinking, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? Nobody thinks, everyone thinks I'm crazy. Just caring so much about what everybody else thought. I was putting so much pressure on my business, and I was just feeling like, imposter syndrome. But you guys, like, it's all because like I had this expectation in my mind of like where I was going to be, how much money I was going to be making, all of this stuff. And I couldn't check off all the boxes. But just because I couldn't check off all the boxes does not mean that I wasn't making progress. It doesn't mean that, that I was making the wrong decision by taking that next leap, right? I had to have belief in myself, right? It always has to come back to, you know, do you believe that you can do these things? And this is where you have to take the proof from the people that have already done it. This is why I do listen to other top coaches team calls. This is why I do have those, 2 or 3 coaches that I just like look up to, because I watch their team calls and I listen to these stories, because it is constant proof in my head all of the time that it can be done. Hearing people overcoming their own hearts, hearing people, go through similar things that I have gone through. That's one thing that Janine, like why I resonated so much with Janine, is because I too lost a leader last year. It was devastating. I thought it made me doubt everything all over again. Like every year of my business, I feel like I've had some monumental period of time where I have gone through something really freaking hard and difficult, and I've had to reevaluate myself, right? I've had to gut check myself, ask myself, Amy, like, why are you here? How bad do you want this? Like, do you believe you can do it? Right? What can you do better, or what can you do to get past this? Okay. So I just challenge you, like, to one, maybe not challenge you, but I want to let you know, like, just because you're going through something hard does not mean that you need to put in your coach cancellation. Doesn't mean that you aren't going to, be able to do this full time someday if that's something that's your goal, right? It does not mean that you are not going to get there. It just means that you have to, like, navigate through this detour, because I promise you the detour is on purpose. Okay. The detour is on purpose. It is meant to teach you something. And that's what you need to start looking at these hard things as from now on, is not, again, not a sign from the universe that you suck. You are never going to do this. It's a sign from the universe, like, Amy or so-and-so, you need to, like, you're doing a great job, like, you've come so far, but there's a little bit more work to be done until you can get to that next level, right? You've got to be willing to, like, get through this period of time. Okay. It's just like, I don't know how else to explain it, whether you're a religious person, you're a spiritual person. Gabrielle Bernstein has been someone that has been a huge, like, a period that was leaning into the spirituality and, like, just the higher power of the universe has honestly been something that's been so comforting to me throughout my coaching journey, because there is only so much that we can do, right? There is only so much power that I have. I can send all the invites. We can, mentor the coaches and tell them all the things and do all the things, but we also can't make people do anything. Okay. We can only control ourselves, right? So at the end of the day, there is a little bit of, like, you got to just kind of have the faith, and you got to have this belief that things are going to fall into place in their timing. Okay. So again, a little bit of a reflection. I know it's February 5th, but I know many of us usually come into the month guns blazing, like, SE6 or SE by the 5th or SE10 by the 5th or SE10 by the 10th. Like we come in with such high expectations on ourselves, right? Like we want to fill our boot camps, hit Success Club early, like do all these things. And I'm the same way, you know. Am I there yet so far this month? No. And like that could, I could allow that to fester and I could allow that to derail me, but you know, it's a choice. Okay. It's a choice of, again, looking back at the last month, understanding how it went, understanding what I did. You know, I had a great month last month. Like, okay, how can I get myself back into a positive mindset? How can I get myself back into a positive energy flow to allow myself to not derail myself right now, right? What can I do? Again, what I've been doing the last 5 days maybe necessarily isn't, you know, quite jiving right now. Probably a lot of it has to do with my energy. But what can I do to be proactive? What can I do to like get myself back into a positive, you know, flow? Because guaranteed, you guys, when you are having fun and you are feeling good and you are just like vibrant, all of everything falls, like everything connects. Okay, your posts, your invites, your stories, like everything gems. All right, that's when people say yes. Guaranteed. That's exactly how my business flows. If I am in like a shit mood and I am like just like, if I am angsty and I am putting all these pressure on myself and on my invites, and like I'm coming into a desperate kind of thing, like this desperate energy, everyone says no. Like nothing connects, right? But when I am just leading with, you know, not to be woo woo, but I'm leading with love, right? Where I'm just, you know, and trying to enjoy my days, and I'm loving on my husband, and I'm loving on my family, and I'm loving on my dogs, and I'm, you know, loving on my coaches, and I'm just, you know, not putting pressure on these conversations I'm having, they flow. Okay. So reflect. Okay. What kind of energy do you have right now? Like, where, like, okay, are things not working? Is that more coming from you, or is it because of what you're doing? Right. Be willing to gut check yourself. Just be willing to have this reflection moment, because you know what? The faster that you can have these reflection moments, the faster you can autocorrect, right? The faster you can move on into the next 5 days and honestly turn everything the frick around, right? You can, and like keep soaring through this month and end up way farther than you would if you were to just sit back and just keep kind of doing things the way that they're doing, because, you know, it's uncomfortable to look in the mirror. All right. And this is something I feel like, you know, maybe we just forget. And, you know, again, like Janine said, you guys can't be an elite team without each other. All right. You can't win team cup solo, right? You are always a part of a team, whether you like it or not. You know, I don't have a working upline. Like I'm like 2 levels below like my upline that like adopted me. She's not my personally, you know, my whatever direct sponsor. But I'm a part of a team. You know, I'm a member of the dream team. I'm a member of my uplines downline, right? I'm playing a role whether I like it or not. Just like my coaches are part of our team, whether they like it or not. And what you do in your business, who you are, is a part of your team, whether you like it or not. So when you don't feel like showing up for your business, or you don't feel like showing up for your goals, like this is, again, a lot of us also love coaching. I know I do. Why I did it is for the accountability, not just in my wellness journey, but also for the fact that like I do want more out of my life, right? I want more out of, you know, just my normal clock in, clock out nursing shifts like that I was in, you know, like I wanted more than that. So, you know, it motivates me. It's empowering to know that like not, I'm making a difference. I'm showing my coaches the way when I show up for my business, when I show up through my hard times, when I show up when things, the fact that I'm pregnant right now and like we just moved and all of this stuff, it's I'm like, I'm being very mindful right now of the fact that I am showing them how to do this. Like I am showing them how, many of them don't have kids or they're in their later, younger 20s. I'm 30, by the way. But they're just not in this phase of life that I'm in yet, or maybe they're just entering it. Maybe they're like in serious relationships or whatever. Anyway, so this is a great opportunity. This is another huge opportunity where people go through hard things. People go through seasons like this. This is often like what derails them, right? So I'm being very mindful of that. Like, how many of you get no's from moms on Instagram? Like when you reach out to somebody and they say that they're pregnant, so they can't join your boot camp. I will not lie, that annoyed the fuck out of me for a long time. So I used to get so annoyed. Like, I cannot wait till I'm pregnant so I can show these women, like, we are not broken. Like, you are not broken just because you're pregnant. You can still move your body. In fact, everything, every doctor I talk to, every app I read is saying like how important exercise is throughout pregnancy. And of course it's uncomfortable. My body's like right now I feel like, oh God, it's like feels so tight, but it's like, just because like it's uncomfortable doesn't mean that we need to sit back and we need to like, lay up for the next 6 months until we have the kid pops out, right? Like life moves on. We have to step up. We still have responsibilities and goals. Like this is a great time to keep, like I have that much more motivation. Like I'm showing them like, no, I'm that much more motivated by the fact that I'm going to have a kid in June. Like that I'm going to be, a mom very shortly. Like I want to have my team like stepping up as leaders when I need them the most, so this isn't a time for me to just like nest and step back and all that stuff. Of course, I'm still doing that, but it's like, no, like you still need to show up. Okay. So even when it's not convenient for you guys, show the F up. Okay. Don't say you're going to be on a team call and then bail last minute and like not tell anybody. Like, don't say that you're going to hit diamond in March and then flake out and not, reach out to your team and like let them know what's going on and how you're struggling. Like, don't say things that you're going to do and not do them. Okay. Like, one, you're letting yourself down because I know that you have bigger goals than that. And our goals don't happen if we don't show up. Okay. Compound effect. But also you're letting your team down. Okay. Like, again, this is a lot of us join this because of the accountability. We wanted to be a part of a team. We wanted to be a part of a community, and you are. Okay. So find comfort in that, because I know it sure comforts me, right? It comforts me to know I'm not alone. It comforts me to know that I'm making a difference and I'm showing, that I am inspiring my team through going through the things that are somewhat uncomfortable for me at times, right? Okay, so next reflection, tracking. Okay, this is a very basic thing, and it's again, like we forget these things, like how basic they are and how important they are. But guys, we hear it every day. If you do the tracker, if you do the things, it's going to happen, right? Again, it's just compound effect. This is just another reason why it's so important for you to be consistent. Right? It's so important for you to show up even on the days that you don't want to, because even though you don't feel it, and even though it kind of sucks, and maybe you don't get out as many invites as you wanted, or like even you can be having a bad day, like you can be having a weird time or whatever, and you can still show up. You can still do the bare minimum. And you know what? That's going to move the needle forward. There's that a little bit more, right? And it's going to set you up for success in the next day when you're feeling better, right? And then now you still have follow-ups to do. You have, people like you posted, you maintain that trust and that credibility. You're on your stories a little bit. People know what's going on. There's no question about where the F did you go, all those things. Okay. And again, You have to start thinking like the fact that everything that you do today is going to impact you for the next 3 months. Okay. What you did last month, if you are feeling this sense of like maybe it is harder for you this month, where were you in November? Where were you in October? Right? That's a gut check. It's just a reality. It's not like, again, you can choose to let that, get you down, hinder you, or you can just choose to 10x that much more this month and to create and generate that momentum. Again, maybe not every seed that you plant this month is going to blossom right away, and it's not going to be like your success code points for this month, but it is going to set you up for March, for April, for May. Okay. You have to start thinking like this. This is just, how much easier is it to just show up, right? And just pump that well every single day than it is to let it slow down and build up all that resistance to the point where you have to work that much harder, right? How frustrating is that to keep restarting? You know what I mean? Like, keep having to come back from behind. Like, just don't do that to yourself, right? Make it easier on yourself. Stay consistent. Keep using your tracker. Do the things. Even when you don't feel it, it's like you still show up for work, right? Most of us still showed up for work even when we shouldn't have. Most of us still went to our work jobs when we were still sick, right? And even if we probably had the flu, there's some people that do it, okay? So if you do it then, you can do it with this, all right? All right. So just be willing, you guys. Check yourselves, right? Because otherwise you're going to wreck yourselves, all right? You just have to be willing to have this mentality like you are a boss. You're in charge of your own business. You're in charge of your own life, all right? Nobody else is going to come save you. It's nobody else's responsibility to help you hit diamond or make you, whatever. It's yours, okay? So be willing to be a part of this process. Be willing to take the actions. Be willing to have the consistent gut checks, do the reflections, look in the mirror. Guys, it's normal. We're not perfect beings. Like, we're humans and we are growing and evolving constantly, okay? Like, I had to swallow a big old pill of humble pie or whatever this last weekend, like, because I did have a leader quit, and it did F me up in the mind for a little while, and it did make me doubt some things, and it did make me take some actions I'm not proud of and say some things or whatever. I let my emotions like take over, be irrational for a little bit, right? I'm not a perfect person, right? But I have to also be understanding the fact that, like, again, people are watching me. My team is watching me. My team is listening to me. My team is interpreting everything I say. So I have to be mindful of how I outlet that, right? I have to be mindful of how I move past that. I have to be aware of those things, okay? Because good or bad, it's going to affect my team. And I have to be willing to accept that. And so this past weekend, I had to accept that me outletting my emotions like rubbed some people the wrong way. And then I had to clear the air and do all these things that, didn't feel so great. But that's the thing. You have to just be willing to take ownership of yourself. You have to be willing to take ownership of your goals and your team and everything that you're working towards. And know that, things are going to come up, things are going to happen. So I just wanted to end with this quote. I don't know if you guys like or know of Trent Shelton. I'm sure you do. Pretty much everyone's read his book. But if you haven't, his book is really, really good. I highly suggest it. But he has this great quote chapter about championship mindset. So I wanted to say it. So a champion does not allow a short-term failure to take her out of the long-term game. Okay. And this is so, so true, right? Like, perfect example, like I just said, I had one of my diamonds quit this last fall. And like I will be honest, like it was pretty difficult to not let that define me, right? To not let that be an omen for what's to come, right? Not to be this like, sign from the universe like, Amy, you cannot create leaders. Like, obviously, they go and quit, right? No, you have to be willing to understand that just, these short-term failures are lessons. These short-term failures are speed bumps. They are hiccups, right? They are not determinant of your long-term success. Okay. Look at every successful person that you look up to, or you listen to on Audible, or you listen to on a podcast. Every single one of them has a laundry list of failures behind them that got them before they got to that point, that level of success. You guys heard about Lizzo, about how the fact that Lizzo, like that popular song, like whatever, I forget the name of it. It's been like out there in existence for like many, 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 many years, except it took many, 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 many years for anyone to ever actually give a shit and to like fall in love with it, right? And now she's like an overnight success. No, she's not an overnight success. It took so much time for her to become a success, right? She had to show up and ask and beg and ask some more for people to play her song until finally it all that work, all that traction, that momentum she was building paid off, right? So it all comes back to this. You have to remember and honor what got you here. Because again, nothing is on accident. You did not sign up to be a coach. You did not sign up to be in Beachbody. Like, you did not sign up to join a challenge group on accident, right? You did not get here on accident, and you did not say yes to this opportunity on accident. Okay. You were honoring an impulse when you did this, and you have to continue to honor that now. Just because time has passed, just because, shit's happened or whatever, or felt hard, like, you have to remember why you stepped up to the plate, right? You have to remember why you put the key in the ignition and got in the car and wanted to drive off on this path of being a coach, okay? Because you have a bigger purpose here, right? I truly believe that, like, coaching is honestly the vessel that allows us to step into our best selves, okay? um, that is our job. It's honestly, it's a gift, and it's also a very hard thing to do at times, but we are the lucky ones. And if you need anything to, like, cling to, remember that. Remember the people that judge you, or remember the people that leave you or quit on you or whatever. Like, you are the lucky one because you're still here. You're the lucky one because you get to continue. You're continuing to grow and evolve. You know what? Maybe I don't get why so-and-so quit right now, but I know in like 6 months from now, I will. I know, like, I'm going to be able to, like, look back on this and, like, know that it wasn't me, it was her, right? Like, it's never, it's not you, because just because it decided it wasn't for her doesn't mean that it means that it's not for me, and that I am not meant, meant to get where I want to go. Okay. So just stop walking off the track, you guys. Like, don't quit until it's done. And then when it's done, find a new goal, find a new vision, find a new dream, and keep the F going. Okay. All right. I could talk forever, but that's all I got.
That was amazing. Like, your chat is blowing the F up right now, but that was, I think so many of us needed to hear so many of those things in possibly even a different way. And you kind of saying how you're showing your team, how you're navigating through a hard time. And like, what if you quit? And I think back, so Brittany, who's on this team right now, I inherited Brittany from my leader who quit.
Mm-hmm.
And if I would have let that leader derail me, and if that same weekend that I knew that she was quitting, I reached out to Brittany and I said, hey, I'm here for you. I don't know where you're at in this business. I'm here for you. And now she's like my closest coach to hitting diamond next. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I think all the time, like, what if I would have sat and thrown myself a bigger pity party and not just like swallowed my pride? And it was hard because like, it was like a punch to the gut. Like, am I even a good leader to, message her? And so I just think, your whole message tonight on just starting before you're ready on so many different things. And I'm an Enneagram too, as well. I'm a helper. Um, it's just, you can be the helper, you can be the lover, you can love bomb on your team so much. But at the end of the day, you have to know and they have to know it's on them. They are the CEO of their business.
Mm-hmm.
I took obviously a ton of notes, but does anybody have any questions that is like burning right now before I kind of ask like my top ones that I always ask before we always end calls? Yes. What is your Instagram handle? I didn't put it on my team call because I know it's like something different like mine is.
Oh, yeah. It's My Sweaty Lovely Life, all one word. I just wanted to say just a little tidbit about like our Enneagrams and stuff like that. I'll be honest, like when I first found out my Enneagram, I was like, no, I have to be a 3. Like all successful coaches are 3s or whatever. Like you guys, like you have to play up your strengths, right? We all have our own unique strengths, no matter what you are or what your personality type is. Like just don't give in to the self-limiting. I actually have a 4 on my team. Just don't give in to the self-limiting belief that like, that's holding you back, because it's not. Like, it's like I could say, I'm too sensitive to be a coach, which honestly I am. I'm very sensitive. But at the same time, as you guys can tell, I have a very strong, tough love side. So you just have to figure it out. You have to find your balance, and you have to, again, lean into the things that you feel like are your weaknesses. Like I have felt like my weakness has been leadership and, again, tough love and being able to lead and mentor and all that stuff. So
Yeah, and I was actually just listening to a call on YouTube because I said, like, still 3 years into this business, like, I thrive off of finding other
yeah.
calls. This is actually one that Hannah sent me. And they were talking about they made their whole team take the Enneagram, and then themselves as leaders, like, looked across the board and said, okay, she's a helper. She needs that love. She needs kind of like that softness. She's, not, she needs that tough love. And so it kind of helps you kind of navigate your team and what your team needs, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of something that I think that we've all done as fun. And I think this year I'd like to like dial it up a notch and like kind of look at it as like a leadership thing. I know that you mentioned Ed Milet and Trent Shelton. What other PD podcasts or books do you feel really played a huge part on your business?
Definitely, I will say, um, well, like I said, the universe has your back. I will just say, particularly in that season when I was pushing for 2-star at the end of 2018, and we fell out of 2-star, and I hit 1-star, and I thought, you guys, like you had to still be 2-star to go to NLC. So I was like devastated when we dropped 2-star quals last, a year ago. Anyway, I started listening to The Universe Has Your Back, and I've honestly would say that was a huge one for me. Just kind of like, again, I'm a worrier. I always kind of struggled with some anxiety and all that stuff. And again, like that self-doubt, imposter syndrome. So it just really has helped me with coaching to just kind of, again, have this like, develop this trust, right? Develop this belief. Because honestly, I've seen it in my coaches now. Like they will get so frustrated because they feel like they're doing all of the things. And I feel like they honestly stress the F away the good energy in their business, right? Like they try to try to control like every little thing, and you just can't. Like you can only control your controllables, which is you're getting your invites out and doing all those things and showing up, right? But you can't control everything else. And honestly, sometimes I think we just do need to sit back and enjoy our life and enjoy where we're at and trust that things are going to come to us. So the universe has your back. But I will definitely say Grant Cardone has been a big one for me. Just again, stepping into that more of that like CEO mindset, unapologetic, don't hold everyone's hand kind of thing. Cause I do need that. I need that definitely. Being Boss. I definitely would recommend everyone listen to Being Boss. That was a very popular book at some point last year, maybe over a year ago. I know a bunch of coaches were reading it. That's how I heard about it. And I did read it a while ago, but I actually recently listened to it again. It's just a great one about setting boundaries. Again, developing a boss, how you can wear many hats. It's another pet peeve of mine, another thing that I can't wait to debunk. And I talk about that a lot on my Instagram if you guys go over there. It's just being able to be a mom and be a home, business owner and be a nurse. Like you can like stop limiting yourself. Like you can do more than one thing, right? So I loved that book because it was written by two entrepreneurs that are both like moms and whatever. But the important thing is that we have to understand that we are going to have to continuously set boundaries for ourselves. Like right now, if you're working full time and doing this on the side, you have boundaries, right? You have business hours. You work your business in certain times of your day. Those are boundaries, right? You've made sacrifices. Maybe you don't watch Netflix anymore. Maybe you tell your spouse about team call night and you have that communication and but you make sure you have date night every week and all these things. Those are boundaries, right? To protect the things that matter to you the most. Well, it's the same thing. Like, you're going to have to continuously do that as your life changes, right? You're going to have to continuously do that. Like if you end up taking this full time or whatever, you develop more, you have more leaders underneath you, you're going to have to reestablish new boundaries. Okay. So taking that ownership, understanding that it's just another great reflection tool. I loved listening to that book. I just listened to it like a month ago. But right now I'm listening to Marie Forleo's Everything is Figure Outable and I'm obsessed.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, it's because you said that. And like, so again, I listen to a lot of Gabrielle Bernstein YouTube, right? And Marie Forleo TV, it's like a YouTube television thing. Like that's when I heard about Marie Forleo's because she like interviewed her and Gavin Bernstein are like friends and she interviewed her. So, and then Ed Milet just recently, if you guys listen to Ed Milet, he's a great podcast to listen to. He just interviewed her. And so she was talking about her book. So yeah, you totally did. You totally got me listening to that book. I'm already like over halfway done with it. So it's so good. I recommend Audible. You can listen to everything on the go. It's super convenient. And then I guess, I don't know. I have a bunch of Brene Brown in here, but I will honestly say I don't jive a lot with her books. Although I've tried to force myself to read them. But again, who knows? I might come back to it. But I think that's pretty.
and
Grant
that's
Cardone.
yeah, that's how I am too. Like sometimes I might not be feeling a book at a season of my life and come back 6 months later and I totally am. And I love that you have a good mix of like personal and professional like
Oh,
development too.
yeah,
You have
yeah,
to have both. You have to. You have to have a
yeah.
mindset one, you have to have a business one. Okay,
Mhm.
last and final question, and then we'll take our boom. If you could go back and tell yourself one thing as a new coach, or if you could give a new coach one piece of advice, what would it be?
I think it would be. Ooh, this is tough.
Put me on the spot.
I think. Oh well, I will definitely say one to just don't, like I said, don't wait. Cause I think I honestly kind of, one of the reasons why I sat at Emerald for 6 months was because of, I kind of like blame game the fact that my coach quit and I like just kind of like, well, I'm not going to be successful because, or it's taking me longer because she quit and I don't have guidance kind of thing. Like, I think I played the excuse game. Don't do that. You can go out and hit Emerald and Diamond all on your own if you want to. Um, So I think one, that, but two, one of my biggest regrets is that I legit skipped out on Super Saturday, um, like totally on purpose, just because I was scared. Again, like I was alone. I knew I didn't have like a team. I didn't know anybody, and like, I mean, 30 minutes for me is the closest Super Saturday, and I totally just did not go because I was scared. But it was the next opportunity in January that I went. That, yes, it changed everything, and I'm not joking. Like, cliche as it sounds, it changed everything. I heard someone stand up, say they were a diamond coach. Here I am, an emerald, and they told their story about how they were paying for their videographer with their coaching money. They were a full-time teacher, all this stuff. It was just incredible to see, like, wow, I like look at all these coaches that are like within a 50-mile vicinity of me, and they're doing the dang thing. Like, you know what I mean? It was like it gave me an opportunity to see outside of myself and to like see, wow, I look up to them. Like, imagine how people could look up to me, and imagine what's possible for me. And I went home and I made my first vision board, and like I actually like believed in this business for the first time. So yeah, that's what really created that momentum for me, was that first Super Saturday. And I went home and I put on my vision board that I wanted to pay off my debt and go per diem and hit 2-star and all these things. And like, I swear to God, like 85-90% of everything I put on that vision board happened, and if not, it happened within like a year and a half
That's
of,
incredible.
yeah. So it's just getting outside your comfort zone. It's the best thing you can do. Best thing you can do. Just go for it. I was, like, again, I met a coach there that ended up being one of the, like, I think she was the very first guest speaker I had on my call.
Mhm.
Um, Another local coach, and I just spoke on her team call recently. So again, it'll just connect you with people. You just never know like what you're walking into and what seeds you're planting. So
Awesome.
that's what I would say.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording